Get him, get him.
Oh my God!
Calm down. Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here.
Oh, yeah, dude!
Dude.
6 pounds, 11 ounces. Oh,
Oh my. Limp. That's what I've been f***ing waiting for all day.
that's over 6.
True. And that one's,
Oh, here he goes.
go. Good?
That's a big fish.
Full hand on tail, yeah, it looks sick. Good to go.
Look how broad that thing is.
I wonder if that was the one that followed me in.
Beautiful.
Oh my God.
Holy sh! God. What a beast.
Oh wow. That might be a 4. That might be a 4.
Yeah, it's a 4. You guys show that off too. 4 pounds, 12 ounces. Holy. Oop.
Another good one.
Holy sh! What the? Is that another 6?
Could be.
It's the second giant of the day, proving that point. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yes!
Big bait, big fish. There we go. 5 pounds, 6 ounces. Beauty! Dude, I'm not even joking. It happened again.
Kidding me?
Nope.
Is it big?
Oh! That's strong.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
That's a fat fish, dude.
4.
Holy. Dude. Holy hell, that's long.
Yeah, it is.
5, 4, 6. What?
Yeah.
Just rock.
Got him. Get in here, you.
There's another 6. You. That's a big fish.
6'10". Woohoo! Little fatty.
All right, hope you enjoyed that. Everybody have a good night.
See ya, bye.
How are y'all doing? Oh, we're back. And Dennis has joined us. This is what, 3rd time?
His shirt is
It's not even funny
snazzy.
anymore. It's not even funny anymore.
Oh, it tickles me just right. I beg to differ, sir.
His shirt is snazzy. Reminds
It's like
me of like the snow on like an old TV.
I think I can see something. Show, I got Mom and Dad.
I am ecstatic.
Late night channel 21.
Yes, that one. I'm pretty sure I saw something.
Is that a nipple?
Anyway, we're back. Sorry for the hiatus. I will quickly elaborate on that. I do not have a work-life balance. I have work. That's it. We're hitting crunch time with this product that is going to be announced at ICAST, which is pretty friggin' awesome. I've got a lot on my plate and trying to make some moves to make it not so bad and moderate success. So, you know, we're progressing. Things are getting there. We'll get there. One way or another, we'll get there. So that's it, man. And I've just been dealing with some other stressors associated with that. That's the most I'll say. It's been brutally busy. Is what it is. So that's where I've been. I don't know what the hell is going to happen moving forward either, because literally from now until I get back from ICAST, it's not going to let up. There's a lot to do, and then now there's another team I've been included on as of last week, which, don't get me wrong, is awesome for what I got to do, but the amount of work that is going to come with it is also just mind-boggling. So, and very, very, very tight timeline on that one. Just a lot of long days. That's it. Sometimes we're just going to do what we got to do. Now, the only downside to that is I have not had the time or the energy to be able to, do anything for the channel. And that's not going to stop anytime soon, unfortunately. So we're going to try and keep up with the streams for the next couple weeks. It'd be one of those, like, I won't know until noontime, the day of the stream, if it's going to happen or not. That's how much work I have. It just depends on how much I can get done. And then as far as regular fishing videos go, it sucks because I really enjoy doing them, but I don't know when those are coming back. Right now, maybe August. That's the way it's looking, because I literally just do not have the time for it. So yeah, fun. Anyway, who's here in the chat? Oh, also, I got the connection back to Facebook working again, so now we're streaming at both locations, which is awesome. I did see quite a few people had already shared it. I didn't get to acknowledge it yet. I've not had any time. I will do the best I can to get to that after the stream, before I go to bed. But for everybody that did share it, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate you as always. Probably going to be a quiet night because disappeared for the last 3 weeks and didn't really say anything about it. So
And Celtics are on.
And Celtics playoffs, game 3. And I know Brady was inducted into the Patriots Ring of Fame, Hall of, whatever that is.
Ring of Fame?
Ring of Fame. What the hell is it? What the hell do they call that?
He was in the Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
The Ring of Power?
He was Sauron.
The great Brady.
No, he was working towards being the humans. Man, where they got the 9 rings. Did I get that right? I'm so disappointed if I got
It
that
was
wrong.
good. Yeah, that was good.
But was it 9
was
rings
solid.
for me? Yes.
Yeah.
It was.
Nerd. I love it.
We all know that. We're all nerds.
Well, you know, I sometimes miss these finer details. But I don't know if that's televised or not. Probably not. It's probably middle of the day. Anyway, so, yeah. Celtics game, I think, started at 8.
8:30.
8:30? So where the hell is everyone? What is this?
They're coming.
God, it's warm in here already. We're here to talk about post-spawn techniques. And as I said, for the 3rd time, our buddy Dennis is here joining us for the 30th time.
Hey, Dennis is here. He's going to be helping us out tonight.
Yeah, truth be told, this stream would not be happening if he
Ring of
wasn't
Honor,
kind of
yeah.
here to bring it. Yeah, that's what it was. Thank you. Yeah, if he didn't bring up the topic and everything, so I just have not had any time to even give anything that we're doing this moment of thought. And looking ahead, like I know we're supposed to do sun shirts. That's not going to happen. I just don't have the time to manage all of that. I was way behind on getting stuff shipped for the giveaway the last time we did this, and I still haven't even got out a hat for Ryan, I owe you, buddy. And the t-shirt winner, I got to get that squared away. Yeah. So anyway, let's talk post-spawn.
Let's talk post-spawn.
So, I would say, unless you're up on the big lakes, everything is post-spawn right now. And I would say a place like Champlain, you could probably find post-spawn and spawn still. Champlain's a place I think you could probably, even
Find
with
everything.
this really warm weather, still find them spawning for the next couple weeks.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe.
Definitely. Yeah, I
Think so?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, because you got the New York side with that really deep, cold water. And there's fish that just seemingly never leave that area.
So from when we were up there, the spot that we like to fish, I'm not going to say the name of it, the spot that we like to fish where we leave and then go south, and there's an island down there that we like.
Yes.
One of my other people that I know that goes up there every year went down there and said that the water, they found water that was 48.
What?
And you found
Like
water
recently?
that was the week that I was there.
So the
So
week
it
after I
it
was
2
there,
days
right?
after you were
Yeah.
there. And you guys found water that was 74. So 74 to 48 degree water. So they have a little of everything.
That's a swing.
Current, baby.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
It's
I don't know. Everything's, at this point, suffice it to say, wherever you go, you're going to find post-spawn. To what degree of post-spawn? Hard to say. Depends on the body of, the size of the body of water and location. You know, I would say like the farthest northern stretches of New Hampshire for higher elevation. Same deal with some places in Vermont and especially Maine. Probably find them like in that immediate post-spawn funk. Which, best of luck to you, because that's one of the hardest times of the year for me to catch them. Like when they get right off the beds and they're not doing anything except for like kind of taking a breather, you know, recovering before they go back into feed mode. But like right now is magical because I've always used Father's Day as my kind of measuring stick for when all the bluegills start to spawn. So you've always got that post-spawn bite that's really good, and it continues to carry on through the bluegill spawn because that happens right after all the bass are done. And technically, they're two different things, I would say, as far as like, you know, largemouth are post-spawn and they're just feasting and recovering versus like feeding through the spawn window for the bluegill. It's just like, okay, it's just perfect opportunity. I'm just going to go feed and eat there while it's super easy. You can argue that, whatever. That's the way I look at it. So, and right now, shallow water bite for largemouth has been really good. Except for, of course, me on Sunday when I got out for 2.5 hours to a local spot, and I literally caught 4 fish in 10 minutes on a jerkbait in the middle of the lake. And then I went up and I didn't get anything for another 20 minutes. I'm like, okay, well, I'll go check the shore because, post-spawn and bluegill spawning and not a single bite after that. So I think it was more weather than anything because it poured all day. And, like, I got those 4 fish. The clouds broke and nada.
Yeah, well, that happens.
Yeah, it poured literally all day until you got there.
Pretty much.
It was good while it was pouring.
Yeah,
That's
bet
when
it
I was out.
Yeah, I forgot you had said that. So, without further ado, let's talk about our favorite post-spawn techniques. Guest of honor, you may go first.
All right. So I brought 5 bait categories. What do you want to do? You want to just take turns?
Yes, go,
All right,
go with
take
your
turns.
top one, your favorite one, and then Andrew can do the same, and then I'll
right.
clean up duty.
So my favorite one. So first, I want to explain why I chose the types of baits that I chose. So from my experience during post spawn, the fish kind of split, and you get a lot of fish that stay shallow and feed on the bluegill, and you get a lot of fish that stay shallow and find a piece of cover and like they live there, and that's like resident fish, stuff like that. So I have some baits for that. And then you get a lot of fish that school up and go offshore and become more like pelagic and really stay on bait, schools of bait on perch, or if you're at Winnie, then like smelt and things like that. In Champlain, it's alewives. But my first one is shallow baits. So basically, the reason I said that is because I have some shallow baits and some deep baits. So shallow baits, my favorite thing this time of year is bluegill style swim baits. I don't know how well you can actually see these, but
No, it's actually pretty good.
all right. So I brought 2. So my 2 favorite ones. This is a Depths Tiny Bull Shooter.
Let me see.
Andrew's going.
Oh, there you go. I thought you were going to find like a Debs 250 we had. Oh, focus. It's going to happen.
Oh,
yep,
oh,
there it is.
there you
Oh,
go. Nice.
Sexy.
Nice. Yeah. All right. So anytime basically that I'm in like less than 5 feet of water and I'm around bluegill and I see bluegill beds, this is the thing that I want to throw because this is what is going to get you a good amount of bites from larger size fish. Like a little, you can catch like little 1-pounders on this. This isn't a big swim bait by any means. Sean's going to show you big swim baits, but this is, I throw some big swim baits too, but this is my thing where like I've had days where I've gone out and caught like 12 or 15 fish on this, and they're all 3 to 4 pounds because this is like, to a 4-pounder, this is like a French fry.
Can we just, one caveat? He is better than all of you, including us. So
Yes.
he's not lying, but outlier. Okay, so keep that in mind. Continue.
That's not true. Nobody's better than anybody.
You're wrong.
The other one that I like a lot. So basically, the caveat to this is that this is awesome, and you hook them really well because it's obviously 2 treble hooks. If you're around grass, this thing will kind of hover and suspend. It sinks very, very, very slowly. You could put a suspend strip on it or whatever if you want it to sink fast. But I'm fishing this usually in like 4 or 5 feet of water. You need basically 1 to 1.5 feet of clear non-grass between the either the bottom and the surface or the top of the grass and the surface. If I'm in an area where I don't have that, then I go to sleeper gill. So sleeper gill is a swim bait, and you can fish it like a swim bait, and I've caught plenty of fish on it like a swim bait, but the way that I fish this is basically like a jig. Like I will essentially use this in place of a jig. Andrew will show you.
I might as well put up Andrew's comment because it's perfect what we're talking about.
That's true. And this thing, so basically, it is a swim bait. It's a paddle tail. If anybody's used a dark sleeper, it's similar to that. This is a little more swim bait-ish than a dark sleeper. But I will throw this into, I'll throw this into trees. I'll throw it into grass. I'll throw this basically, you can throw this anywhere and it will not get stuck. Like I've thrown it literally into brush piles, and it's pretty good at not getting stuck. The hook is kind of exposed, but it's also kind of protected by the fins on there. So it's a lot more weedless than the depths. So in order to not lose the depths when I'm fishing around brush piles and stuff, I will do the sleeper gill. But
Wait, can
that's
you
my
put a
number one.
bill in that?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, they're like adjustable.
Mike, Dennis is a BFS guy. That's a baby frickin' swim bait.
I am a BFS guy.
Baby freaking someday. I like it.
That's hurtful. That's hurtful.
You're welcome.
It's not the size of the swim bait.
Well, it's not a big frickin' swim bait, that's for sure.
That's also true.
That's what that is.
That's also true. I caught some on the Explorer Gill at Champlain.
Wait, is that the
Really?
one you dropped the donkey on?
I dropped a donkey on it, yeah, but I landed a few too.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't even got bit on my glide yet, and I've been throwing it a lot. I'm throwing that golden belt custom a lot. I still haven't gotten a bite, but it's okay. It's gonna happen.
I lost a 7 at Champlain on the Explorer Gill. At least, like it was every bit of a 7.
That sucks.
That's just how she goes. Your turn, sir. Favorite post spawn bait.
Favorite?
Yep. If we have it here, then awesome. If we don't, at least you can just talk about it.
I mean, it's a variation of this.
Chatterbait.
It's chatterbait, bladed jig, whatever you want to call it. I love throwing chatterbaits, bladed jigs. Swim jigs now have really come into play since he has got me into them.
Yes.
Swim jigs.
Yes.
So.
Pretty much same thing as he said, like bluegill spawn, like throwing it up shallow in the grass or close to like tapering points where they're gonna like up shallow where they're gonna be where the bluegill are gonna be spawning, or just really anywhere along like those hard weed lines is where I like to throw those things. That's pretty much about it.
I'm not too far off of both of you here on this, but I am going to go in a slightly surprising direction because it's a very close toss-up between swim jig with a swim bait trailer and a fluke. And I'm going to give the fluke the winner because that has been,
good.
like, that has never stopped working for me since I've started doing it.
We had it work a couple weeks ago.
Yes, we did.
It was great.
I lost 2 fish when I went out midweek the other day when I had to leave the premises on my own. Yeah. I reached a breaking point and I was like, have a nice day. And I went and got my boat and I went and decompressed on the lake.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
I lost a couple of fish. But anyway, weightless Texas rig fluke. And I really like the Yamamoto. I've run a couple of different ones, but there's something about the Yamamoto, the 5-inch, that for me is just kind of the best of everything because...
D-Shed?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's got the right profile, but it's got the right weight behind it that I can throw that thing I can throw the thing far. And that's on a jig rod. So I'll throw it on my Douglas X-Matrix 715F with straight 15.5 pound heavy cover from Defiant Fishing. And I'll throw that with, what am I throwing that on? Oh, my Lose Elite reel. So it's a 7.51. So it's literally one of my jig rods. And I'll throw it on a 4/0 extra wide gap hook. More often than not, I'll use a super line hook because it's a much bigger hook. Like it's a lot thicker in the gauging of the material than your standard like worm hook for an EWG hook. And that little bit of extra weight, I mean, we're literally talking grams here, but it makes a difference that if you cast it and it's like half draped on the lily pad, it's still going to be able to have enough to fall off, or you can just get a little twitch and that momentum will get to fall off and it will stay subsurface, especially when you twitch it. But you really have to twitch it on like really, really slack line to be able to get it to dance like a jerkbait. But man, that is like just a wicked fun way to cover water, and especially when they're in and around grass, which more often than not they are at this point when they're in that post-spawn mood. Especially like the fry garters, they almost always seem to be hanging around vegetation. So to be able to get in there and you basically have this bait fish profile just ripping through in a really erratic direction. And my God, it's fun. I mean, you can fish it open water, especially if you see bass blowing up on bait fish. Throw it in that cloud and just kind of work it through, or you can throw it on the bank. You can do a lot of different things with it. There's really no right or wrong way. But man, like when they get up in the pads, like right now, that is about one of the most fun ways to get them, because if I'm throwing a swim jig, it's typically on like a pretty heavy setup. It's 18-pound line and a heavier rod, a bigger, heavier rod, like a 7.6 heavy fast. So when I hit them, I hit them. Versus with this, like I'm more technically covering water versus just, bomb it, chuck and wind that I'm doing with a swim jig. So it's just a lot more fun. And when they hit it, it's friggin' awesome. Because sometimes they'll hit it like you would, like anything else, right? They're just going to come up and summer from behind. But especially when you're working it really erratic through the lily pads, they'll come up at it just like they'll hit a frog, which is just awesome. Because you can barely kind of see your fluke skimming the surface, and all of a sudden you see a bass come up. Like you see a V-line, and then it completely clears the water, hitting the fluke on the way out, and then land 3 feet away, set the hook. Just too much fun. Absolutely way too much fun.
And glide baits.
Well, that was your favorite. You're supposed to wait for that part.
It wasn't my favorite.
So
Maybe it was.
depths and gill sleeper,
I'm gonna say bluegill swim baits.
bluegill swim baits, bladed jig.
Bladed jig.
I'd have to say bladed jig, swim jig combo.
Yep, fair enough. Weightless Texas rig fluke. Close second being a swim jig with a swim bait trailer on the back. And oddly enough, you know what's been really working well for me? Using a little Magnum as a swim bait, swim jig.
That makes all the sense.
It's heavy, but as a 3/8. But all the vegetation I've been fishing lately is heavy vegetation. And that thing with all the weight just in the head, dude, it just parts everything. It doesn't
Bursts
have a crazy
through it,
brush guard on it, but yeah, it just punches its way through everything.
It makes sense. It's a grass jig, so
Yeah.
Yep.
instead of going straight down, it's just coming through.
Yeah.
And dude,
Yeah. Doing the same thing, just
Literally the same
horizontally.
thing.
yep. And it's been great, and it's nice because I feel like I'm having an easier time of getting it through like that spaghetti grass, that really like kind of
The stuff that sticks to everything.
Yeah, but not on the little Magnum.
Velcro grass.
Yes, that. I can get it to slide through all that, and it comes through clean almost every time. Now, it's a little more problematic when fishing a foot of water because you got to get it moving with
Right.
3/8. At that point, I'm almost always going with the quarter ounce. But aside from that, and then especially with the 2 wire bait keepers on it,
Quarter
it does a
ounce
way
would be
better
nice.
job of keeping that swim bait on there longer. Like I was using that same swim bait on the back of it for like the last 3 trips. That one swim bait. I was impressed.
Pretty good.
And I got quite a few fish on that when I was out there on that Wednesday trip, and I think I caught 5 or 6 on it before it tore. But it was still hanging on, so I kept chucking it, and I caught a couple more before it completely tore.
Sick.
But then again, that was like the 3rd trip out with it. It's
That's
bad.
not bad. 3 trips with 1 bait.
Yep. I swear to God, I can hear Derek having an aneurysm right now. Why do you use my jig like that?
I hated that.
What?
I'm glad you did.
That was the worst thing ever.
Welcome to my life.
Let's take this a slightly different direction. Post spawn. You know what? I actually realized almost everything we talked about, primarily a largemouth.
Yeah.
What about smallmouth? Favorite post spawn technique for smallmouth?
Square bills. That's my favorite.
I gotta think about this.
I
This is
mean-
one of 2 things I'm having a really hard time.
Square bills and
deciding which one I
jerk
like
baits
better.
are my favorite for post spawn smallies.
You first. I gotta think. I
I mean, mine is one of the things that I brought. So
even for small. Oh, that you brought. Sorry, not that you just showed.
no, yeah. So I don't do a lot. Like, I guess when smallmouth are immediate post spawn, they're still shallow and you get them on some stuff. But when I go smallmouth fishing, I want to go out and catch like 40 of them and
Yeah.
not like 4. So I don't focus on the shallow smallmouth when I am going after post spawn or basically after spawn. I focus on the deep schooled up fish. So deep crankbait is by far my most fun way.
You want me to go show that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. That is what I want. So
Ooh,
that looks good.
God,
On,
that
that
does
looks,
look
yeah,
good.
that looks good on there.
that looks really good.
So basically, when smallmouth do a similar thing, I think that a lot more smallmouth go deep than stay shallow. I think largemouth are a lot more apt to kind of split more, not in half. I still think more go deep, but closer to in half, where there's still a good amount that are shallow. I think
Yeah.
like it's closer to like 75%, if not more, smallmouth go deep.
Yep. It's like as soon as the spawn's done, they're like, all right, off
right,
the bank. Here
right,
we
they're
go.
out of there. They don't want to be shallow. They don't like largemouth like being shallow. I think smallmouth don't like being shallow. So I also
Largemouth like being deep too.
what
Largemouth like being deep
largemouth
too.
like being deep too. I know. Like I would very much 10 out of 10 times I will choose fishing deep over fishing shallow because nobody else fishes deep. The 9 out of 10 people that fish a lake are fishing the shoreline and doing the same thing that everybody else does. They're throwing a spinner bait or something like that on the shoreline. So I will 10 out of 10 times if there's fish deep, I will fish for the deep fish because you just catch way more of them. They bite easier. They are less pressured. They can't see you. They can't see your bait as well. So I don't like fishing slow, as you know. So my number one thing that if I can catch fish on a crankbait, I will catch fish on a crankbait, and that's what I will do, and I will force it. So basically, once we get to post spawn, if I'm targeting smallmouth, the first thing that I try to do is find where I think they'll be schooled up or where they'll be positioned based on wind or current or things like that. And I'm trying to get reaction bites with a crankbait, and that usually will at least tell you where they are. You might not catch them all on a crankbait, but you'll at least get a bite, and then you can go back through it with like a drop shot or a Ned rig or a shaky head or something like that.
So it's funny you bring that up because we were supposed to be doing the New Hampshire Bass Nation tournament on Newfound. State basically kicked them out.
Oh, I heard that.
Yep.
They wouldn't let you use the
Wouldn't let him use the beach.
the ramp, right?
And they wouldn't let him take the back parking lot for access
That's what
parking.
it was, the parking
The
lot.
back parking lot?
That was the two biggest issues. They wouldn't let them use the state beach to
That was
weigh
nice
in,
of them.
and then they wouldn't let them use the overflow parking for the extra trailers. Because it's usually like a 50-ish boat event when they go there.
Overflow for
that-
a reason.
Dude, New Hampshire does not want us anymore.
The thing, like,
Simply put.
there's a lot of smaller lakes where, you know my opinion. There's a lot of smaller lakes where I'm like, you didn't have to have a tournament on that lake. You don't need to have 15 boats on like that little 200-acre lake.
Right.
Newfound is not one of those lakes.
No,
Like
you're
I feel like Newfound, Sunapee, Winnisquam, Winnipesaukee, like those types of lakes, Squam, like have tournaments on those lakes. Like why would you not support that?
Well, like that's the most mind-boggling thing about it all too is all these big lakes that we have in the state of New Hampshire. There's so much goddamn land around it. It's truly infuriating that despite all the money that all these anglers bring in and that we've spent on our licenses
Every year.
that we don't at least have a dedicated like site that can be used for tournaments on each of these big lakes. It not in the sense of like this is only for tournaments. Like that's all it's gonna be used for. No, absolutely not. That's fucking stupid. It can be used for anybody, but when it comes to tournaments, then the tournaments would get priority for parking and for shoreline use at that facility. You look at Newfound, like if you look at it in a satellite image at the ramp, there is so much just completely dead, useless shoreline right at the goddamn parking lot that they could, one, expand parking on for trailers specifically, and two, make an actual goddamn like sandy beach area for people to beach and do a weigh-in. Like,
And maybe a ramp with all the money that we spend every year on licenses and everything.
and I'll give them credit on the ramp for Newfound 'cause it's about one of the best in the
Oh
state.
yeah, that's literally the best ramp in the
It's
state.
not saying much though.
No, you're right. It's not saying much. So, but then you go to Winnie and it's like, forget it. Like, and I just found out Katie Mack, who runs the Sweetheart Trail for New Hampshire Bass Casters. I went to school there. Jesus Christ, I think I've known her since fourth or fifth grade. And she was so in that same post, they were saying that she can't even use States Landing anymore at the end of August.
Really?
Yep. That they won't allow it. Anything from Memorial Day to Labor Day, no more tournaments allowed. We lost Lee's Mills up there. That's no longer a public access. You have to be a town resident.
No.
Yep.
Is that true?
Yeah, it
It
is.
I used to launch at Lee's Mills all the time.
That was, I either went to Meredith,
Yeah,
Center
used to.
Harbor, or Lee's. That was the only 3 ramps I'd ever used up there.
Really? They changed that to...
Resident only. And that was actually as of last year, I believe.
Yeah, it was last year.
Which is like, and then Center Harbor is $10. Meredith is now I think 30 if you're not a town resident. I've never paid at either one of those ramps. As long as you get there before anybody's there to collect money, then it's free ramp.
What are they going to do?
Right. There was one time I launched at Center Harbor, and we had been fishing for 20 minutes, but it was with my dad. We were just right off the dock, and the woman came down, set up all her shit, and she looked out, she goes, "Hey, you need to pay if you use this ramp." And I was like, mouth
Drive
open,
away.
about to say like, "Get," and my dad's like, "Yep, no worries." And I looked at him like, "What?" He's like, "Just, it's $10. I'll pay it if you just keep your mouth shut." But I was furious. Like, no, like, come on, man.
so
I got here at 5. We launched at like 5:30 in the morning, so that we could specifically whatever. Anyway, wow, wicked tangent.
That was a pretty big tangent. Yeah.
I know. So we were supposed to do that Newfound tournament, and I was 110% going to do cranking. But yeah, now there's no more tournament there, and as much as I enjoy the Connecticut River, I'm not going to go spend $300 just to pay it to one of the 3 guys that always win. So
Yeah, they're gonna go upriver and catch 25-pound bags.
yeah, every
Yeah,
time.
I'm all set.
Yeah, no. It's don't get me wrong. Again, it's a fun lake, but I'm not paying.
Go
my
do
money
it
for that.
at go do it at Winnie. Winnie is awesome. Deep Craig Bay Lake.
Yeah, well then that's the thing. I was like, I could go out there. We go out there and fish the tournament. We'd probably hold our own. I mean, we've done well there in the past. I've done very well there in the past, but it wasn't something I was looking forward to. I was looking forward to Newfound.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't been there in a long time, and just coming back with the tournament, I think that would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree.
But
not anymore.
There's two.
like being
questions.
able to relearn the lake in a few days,
Yeah.
would have been a lot of fun.
Newfound?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we would have had the Sunday before, and then... No, that's a lie, because my mom's going to be here.
Oh,
So I would have been able to go up and scout Saturday, the day before the tournament, and that would have been it.
well, we learn on the fly.
Couple
Not like
hours,
we've
but-
never done it before.
Yeah, but honestly, like, we know that lake so well anyway. I'm confident I could have rolled up there and been like, okay, well, I know what 30 spots to check. I'm like, well, these 10 spots had them. The other 20 had nothing there, so we know our game plan for tomorrow.
Yep, pretty much.
Anyway, I saw quite a few other comments I want to get to. But I forgot to ask earlier, for those that are here, obviously, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate you. As always, do me a favor, drop a like, whether you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook. Either way, it doesn't matter. And then for me, for smallmouth, I really had to think about this because it's a toss-up between a tube and a jerkbait. And I'm going to go tube still. Because especially post-spawn, I feel like I'm much more consistent with a tube. But it's a very, very, very close thing. Because catch them on a jerkbait, I mean, you do almost the same thing as deep cranking. You throw a 110 plus 1 or even a plus 2 if you're really feeling a little rowdy. But you don't even have to do one of those because there's been plenty of days I've gone out there and you can see them come up from 20 feet down to smack a regular 110 just
That's
a few
true.
feet below. So,
Especially if it's windy.
right. And, oh my God, dude, when there's a little bit of wind and especially even a little bit of clouds, you get a jerkbait, just crack it along and just pause, let it sit there for a second, and then continue that pattern. We have waxed them doing that.
Look at what, like 2 months ago when we guided. I don't remember his name. It's terrible, but I forget his name.
Jeremy.
I have a terrible memory. So.
Andrew.
Jeremy.
What's
Jeremy.
your
We're
name?
up in Vermont.
I don't know. Mike? I had a largemouth come out of 25 feet, and my jerkbait was like maybe 3 or 4 feet down. Came 25 feet off the bottom and hit my jerkbait. It was wild.
That is wild.
They don't mind doing that.
No, you're not wrong. John, my buddy Will be out at Thousand Islands. He leaves Friday. I'm going to be out there, and he comes home Wednesday, I think. He fishes Friday. Yeah, drives home Wednesday. And he's staying up at the top of 3 Mile Bay and Chameau Bay. So, at least I know at least one other guy that'll be out there with you, but you have fun, sir. I did see this.
Dennis, can you be specific?
Wait, not that one.
Okay.
Go in order.
My bad.
Go in
Andrew.
order. Drop it.
Mike.
What trailer in that little Magnum and what color jig and trailer, Sean? Oh boy. Color was Stealth Craw because, and we've talked about this a lot. To me, Stealth Craw looks very perchy because it's just a bunch of greens, a little bit of browns, but then the black in it are like perfectly striped, especially when you're swimming it along. Yeah. So it looks very, very, very perchy. And then just a green pumpkin, like anything. You know, I prefer something closer to 4-inch when I'm going swim jig, swim bait combo. 3.5, not bad, but like 3.8 to 4.3, that's kind of that magic window. I've done some 5-inch swim baits in the past, but I tend to not have the greatest hookup ratio when I go that route. So there's that. Okay, now Dennis,
What's the question? I can't see it. Oh.
can you be?
Can you be specific about fish deep? What structure and locations? All right, so it's really easy. When the water's cold, you are looking for steep, deep drop-offs so the fish can move up and down vertically. When the water gets warmer and post-spawn, you're looking for long, sloping, tapering points. And those are the exact spots that you're deep cranking off of. The thing when you're fishing deep post-spawn is that they are relating to bait. So basically, if you're fishing a kayak, well, I guess if like you're fishing from shore, fish shallow. Like if you're on a boat and you have a depth finder, look until you see bait. Don't make a lot of casts until you see bait. Find bait that's related to a long tapering point, not a super steep drop off. You want something that's long and tapering, and then you're kind of casting perpendicular, or you can kind of parallel it, but you want to relate to that long point. You can also find like rock piles and stuff that are out deeper, but long points are usually the best.
Yeah, long points, steep drop-offs. It's not too different from cold water, when they're coming out of the deep and getting ready to move up into that shallow, they just do everything back in reverse.
Pretty much, yeah.
When they go from really, really cold water, middle of winter, to shallow for the spawn, back to middle of the summer.
Yeah.
And then, but in the fall, going into winter, they usually don't make that shallow push again. It's like winter, from winter, they're out deep, over in the middle, sometimes like on the bottom for a while, but then they'll eventually just kind of go out in the middle of nothing. And there'll still be plenty of fish on the bottom. But then they come up the bank, and then post-spawn, they go back down the bank. And at a certain point, like they just kind of hug the bank or are close to it, out to almost like 35, 40 feet deep for like the majority of fish that move out deep and get off the shore. And then at a certain point, water temp, I'm not sure. I want to say it's probably like mid 70s when those fish are really happy, right around the thermocline, 35, 40 feet. They stop hugging the bottom and they just shoot straight out to open water. And then in the fall, they kind of come back, but they don't always go up. They just kind of go into it, and then they slide up and down. And then again, winter, they slide out, they come back, they go up.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. We don't know.
We have no idea what we're talking about, but you're listening.
All right, so we covered favorite baits, largemouth and smallmouth for post-spawn.
He didn't do smallmouth.
Yeah, he did.
I did.
What'd you say?
I remember.
Oh, I saw that
You went
comment. Hang on,
squarebill.
hang on. There it is. Dogbone. Chris did not star that. How dare he?
Why square bills? Because they're freaking awesome to catch smallies on. And you can crack them off. You can throw them anywhere. Yes, thank you. You can throw them up anywhere. You can crack them off the rocks. They're not going to get stuck. If they do, you can just pop them right off. You literally just put your rod tip down and they'll float up. And then you continue cracking them off rocks. Probably one of the funnest ways to catch a smallmouth. And I find that the post spawn is probably one of the best times where you can catch them on the square bill.
Yeah, he's schooled me a time or two throwing. I almost said the color. I'm glad I didn't. Throwing a square bill.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
All right. So, smallmouth or largemouth doesn't matter. What's your favorite kind of non-standard, non-traditional, either way you want to look at it like that, post-spawn technique? I get to go first this time.
Okay.
Big wake bait. And that's not even that big, but it's big enough. Wake baits. Dude, when those largemouth post-spawn, and now they're all, especially like fry garters, this is like one of the best times of the year to throw a wake bait. And this is the Buka
Bull wake?
gill wake, or is it bull wake? And quite a few fish off this thing. Not so much last year. Last year was tough, but just for me. I know plenty of other guys that did really well. But like non-traditional, a giant wake bait. And it doesn't really matter what it is. Just gonna get it on top, let it wake, work it slow, and hold on tight. That's for largemouth at least. Smallmouth will still hit it though. I feel like they tend to do better with crawlers. Either way, tons of fun. If you're looking to get into big swim baits, or you have one and you're just looking for confidence, like right now you should be throwing that.
That's why I love throwing glide baits this time of year. I'd throw glide baits all year long, but the spring and the fall are pretty much, well, it's kind of late spring, almost summer. It's practically summer. Is it summer now?
No, not yet.
Not
like
quite.
2 more weeks, I think.
2 weeks, yeah.
Weeks. Late spring, early fall, probably some of the best time where you can throw a glide bait. Big baits, it's just like a switch. They just turn on. They want to eat. They're just coming out of spawn. They're in post spawn, which means they're going to settle down for a little bit. They're going to come back up, and they're just going to start chewing. So once that wave of fish starts coming up that want to start eating, you better have a glide bait or wake bait or any of the baits that we have already covered. You're going to catch them. Just, you got to pick your poison on what you want to catch it on. Usually a bigger moving profile gets it done, usually.
So is that your answer? Is glide?
Glides.
Yep. Okay. And you?
Well, mine's the exact opposite. So this is my answer.
God damn it!
Gimme. It's not even going to focus.
So
This is my answer.
yeah, I mean, I like throwing glide baits too, but so this is the hairy dice that I'm sure you've seen it. Either me post and Sean and Andrew complain about.
Complain about anything.
But basically,
I haven't even thrown them yet.
so you said earlier that immediate post spawn is like the toughest time to get a fish to commit.
Yeah,
And I agree.
Immediate, yes.
And I agree. And this is one of the only bait you can get them on a fluke too. I have caught plenty on a fluke, but this is one of the only baits that I found that like over 80% of those fish that you see cruising will commit and bite it.
Yeah,
it's like
David did that when we were up on Champlain.
yes, he did.
He's like, I'm going to try this, and then boom, caught one.
David and him are these JDM bougie bitches, and we're over here like we're cheap. We're not.
The whole ride up,
$20
the
a
whole 3.5 hour ride up, all he was talking about is I made me feel like an idiot. He's like, I got this Shimano rod, this Daiwa Shimano. I was like, Jesus H. Christ. I drive a Nissan.
But so anyway, so this it's I don't know if you want to show that, but I don't know if you can actually see it. But this is the OSP. It's in Japanese, so you can't see it anyway. But it's OSP dice rubber. I love that one was started. But basically, so I use this a lot as a drop shot bait, and it is by far like 100 times over my favorite drop shot bait because nobody else uses it. They last forever. They look like nothing, but also fish will bite it when they're on bait, or they'll bite it when they're on crawfish, or they'll bite it when they're eating bugs. They eat it. I catch a ton of largemouth, a ton of smallmouth. But the number one thing where this works when nothing else does is
I want one.
immediate post spawn when they won't hit anything and they're just sitting there and you can see them. If you throw this in front of them, they will eat it. And it's the only bait that I've ever used where you can consistently, like, every time they eat it. It's not even like you're not convincing them. You don't have to try to work the fish. It's just they see it and they eat it.
Dude, imagine Carolina rigging that thing.
Try it. And they are expensive. They are expensive. It's like it's $20 or something for
a 4-pack.
For I think it's a 5-pack.
No, it's a 4-pack.
Okay, it's $20 for a 4-pack. But I will say I was at Champlain for a week.
And I used
two.
What?
I went through 2 of these baits in 1 week, and it was the only thing that I drop shotted the whole week, and I fished a drop shot a lot.
I don't have that kind of luck. Let's think back to what just happened when we were striper fishing, and I lost 5 mackerel in 5 consecutive casts. You guys are hooking up, and I'm like, oh, bait's gone. Yeah, bait's gone. Bait's gone!
Yeah, but we caught them all. Everyone caught one.
Yeah, we did. This time I'm not bringing braid. I'm bringing my
I don't think I'm going to even bring my own rod. I don't know that I'm going to bring my own rod. I feel like I'll just use his.
I'll bring my rod again.
Even if we're doing live bait again?
If we do, we got to catch fish first before we can catch fish.
Maybe I will. I don't know.
Listen, if we're doing the mackerel thing again, which again I
did
don't
enjoy
mind doing
using
if
my
we're
rod.
paying that kind of money.
It was amazing.
I'm bringing my rod.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because it's just
I'm throwing it on my. I'm going to throw it on my rod.
You should bring BFS.
oh my god.
Live,
Live beta 1-pound mackerel and BFS.
dude.
That actually would be pretty fun.
I need a full size reel for that though.
That's true.
Yeah. No,
It'd be fun though.
It would
I
be a
was
lot.
thinking about it, and the rod I had was a little underpowered for it, but it wasn't terrible. I know, I'm positive I was losing it because I was straight braid, and I just didn't have quite enough
You
give.
guys were all doing the same thing. You're setting the hook on a circle hook.
But even when I stopped, I still lost him.
No.
Because he even said it. He watched me do it. He's like, that was perfect, and I still lost the damn fish.
I don't believe it for 1 second.
I saw you set the hook.
I've seen your
You
hook
did.
sets. I've seen your hook sets.
I watched you. There was one time you jerk bait hook set, and there was one time you're like, yeah.
Screw you! I caught bigger fish than you this time.
That's true. That's true. That's fair.
Didn't get the biggest though. Kyle got the biggest.
Bringing
38.
my oldest son for the next trip.
Oh yeah,
And
dude, he's gonna lose his mind.
He's absolutely. I know I'm gonna have to hold him
Yep.
when he goes into a fish.
I gotta sneeze.
He's gonna catch the biggest just because it's always how it works.
It's
Kevin,
gonna be
print those
fun
shirts.
watching him catch a fish,
I'd wear that
dude.
shit.
It's gonna be awesome.
I would wear it even though I have nothing JDM, but I could pretend. I would literally go out and spend like $100 on JDM.
Don't say
just so I
bitches. Just say bitch.
I think you should. Oh, that's so hurtful.
Yeah, bitch.
JDM bitch.
But you do
JDM.
admire my stuff when it's here.
I do. I don't mind it. Oh my god. BBC.
I have a mouse.
Oh yeah, we were talking about wake baits.
I have a cat toy.
For the fish and me. I get bored of my drive home.
You seen the Key and I can't say that on here. The Key and Peele episode. You can't. I can't.
Anything with them, we know we definitely
I
can't talk
can't
about
say it on here. That
yes,
was the cat
Alec.
toy.
That is the bald thing with all the whiskers coming out. That is correct.
That's
Wait,
true.
they are lined through.
Whiskery balls.
They're not really lined through.
I suppose you could make it.
You could make it line through. The way that I hook it, you basically just hook a corner. And it's like, it's not elastic, but it's like, it's hard. And then when that corner starts to tear or like open, then you just hook a different corner, and there's 4 corners. Actually, 8 corners on it.
Yep.
So like, it literally lasts for it. Like, it's not an exaggeration. I went through 2 baits in 8 days of fishing on Champlain.
And you caught a ton of fish.
And I caught a ton of, like, I was
ridiculous.
catching 20 to 30 fish a day.
All right, we covered our favorites. We covered the not so traditional stuff. Now let's talk about all the other stuff that are like staples in our arsenal for this.
Shaky head.
Thank you.
Shaky head is good. Do you ever
Shaky head's
do a wobble head instead of shaky head?
I have done wobblehead, but not a lot. I did it like a couple times.
Wobblehead.
I actually
is so
fished
much
more
fun.
wobblehead when I had my own boat than when I fished it with you. I used to actually, because I had I bought like the bulk half-ounce wobblehead,
Yeah.
whatever they were. And I went through all of them, and then I just kind of stopped fishing them after I got rid of them.
I
lost them all.
have so many wobbleheads, it's not even funny.
Why is that not focusing?
Because it's white and the studio lights here are just absolutely washing it out.
Frost.
Frost Lush.
Beer Works.
It's phenomenal.
Lush.
It's very, very, very
Double IPA from
Frost Beer Works.
from Frost Beer Works. In
Heinsberg.
Hinsburg.
Heinsberg, Vermont. That's so bad.
And now
sorry.
you're banned.
No, it's Heinsberg, Vermont. Hinsberg?
The hell was I gonna say? We were talking about
Wobblehead.
wobblehead. Thank you. When we were striking and we had a lot to spend, a lot of that went on wobbleheads and shaky heads, and I still have a metric ton of them. And
Oh my God.
yeah, dude, like
Forgot
a
about that.
ton of them.
Do you?
Legitimately
Are they
about
tungsten?
probably 30 pounds.
Ooh, I don't remember, but yeah, actually, I think quite a few of them are tungsten.
You know
Well, you're
where?
welcome to have. The only issue is that a lot of them are like 4 and 5 out hooks.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I use usually I use like 7 or 8 inch baits when I do wobblehead. I use like big worms on it, and then I basically fish it like a jig, but I'm like
Yep.
On the shaky head or wobblehead?
on a wobblehead.
I was throwing
Fish it
the,
like a shaky head, but
I was throwing the robo worm,
what size? 8 inch?
the biggest one they make.
I don't know.
I don't either, but
I
it
think
was
it's 7.
say
7 or
7
8.
inch, 7 I think.
You
it
know
was
what
7.
is my favorite wobblehead?
That same
lake
color I always
ever?
throw though,
Yep.
Black.
because it just works for me.
Sexy color.
It is.
If you leave here and you go 1 hour straight west, there's a little lake, not little, there,
Is it right against the road? Wait, is it smallmouth?
both.
My honey hole.
No, it's a big lake. It's a big lake.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of humps
Yes.
and rock piles and ledges. I have caught so many fish on a wobblehead there.
I bet that's like a perfect lake for it.
It's the perfect lake. for
Hour?
it.
You have done better there with Kyle the one time you went there with him, and the 2 or 3 times you and I have been there, we've caught a lot of fish, but nothing big.
go to
However,
Teen
it does
and then
have
you keep
bigs.
Come on, Andrew.
With Kyle?
You went one time.
I'll tell you after. There's just not a lot of parking for the boat ramps.
Okay.
Now you
All right.
The only thing I will tell everybody when it comes to shaky head, 99% of the time it's a numbers bait. You're not going to catch big fish on it, and I don't know why that is. But regardless of the
Crushed them on
absolute multitude of different baits we throw on a shaky head, it just catches numbers. And I've got like 1 or 2 like true giants on it. If you want to go out and just crack a bunch of fish, it's awesome. And it's great to at least kind of go through an area and pick it apart and see if there's even fish there. So it's a really good bottom contact search bait. But especially right now where all the bluegill are getting ready to spawn, it just looks like a little bait fish, nose down feed, it's a little twitch tail, nothing to it. Wobble head is great. You can do a bunch of different things with it. Oh god, a twin tail hula grub, just a regular grub. Like Beast Coast Flip and Delight would be a phenomenal thing. You can use a rage crawl. Like, it doesn't matter. It's like what Dennis said. It's just a jig, really. But you get a lot more action out of it. A worm is good.
Use a worm.
The other thing I will say,
use a worm.
Keep going.
if you're going for like largemouth offshore, you're confident. Like at this point in post spawn, those fish are like you know that they're deep. Whether you're marking on 2D sonar or it's just seasonal habits, or you have forward-facing sonar, whatever the case. Texas rig with a 1/4 ounce bullet weight, 8 to 10 inch ribbon tail worm, or Carolina rig. Those are some of my absolute favorite things to use when I'm specifically targeting largemouth offshore at this time of the year. But I really need them to like move out in numbers out in deeper water before I really start making that work. But even still, like, Texas rig in general is good right now anyway. It's weird. They'll hit a point where they will want to eat a craw type trailer, but not on a jig. The skirt, the volume, the bulk that the skirt provides is too much. And I have proven that like literally dozens of times over the last 15 years while I'll go out, and the weekend before I will absolutely wax them on a jig. I'll go back because the conditions have been like nothing's changed. And I can't get bit on it to save my life. But I pick up that exact same jig, color and everything. I throw it on just a Texas rig instead. So I'm effectively just removing the skirt. And it's like flipping a switch. And you start cracking them all over again. So something to keep in mind, too, that I guess the bulk of the presentation can matter dramatically. Profile, thank you. Why I couldn't remember that word, I don't know. Take over. I need to blow my nose.
So you gotta blow your nose?
Dude, my allergies with this pollen have been nuts.
It's pretty bad.
I've been
It's
sneezing,
pretty bad.
bad.
and I don't get allergies.
Now that Sean's gone, we can talk about what you should really throw on the head. And the answer is like an 8 or 9 inch or 10 inch worm.
Yes,
All right.
I agree 100%. The longer the worm, the better. Doesn't matter about the girth as long as it's that long. What I'm talking about these worms, dude.
That's true. All right. I don't want to lead this. You want to talk about the next thing?
No.
All right.
You're the guest star of the show,
I'm the
bro.
guest. All right. So the other thing, since this is supposed to be about post spawn.
Yeah, I want to hear about this thing too.
So, well, I'm not going to talk about this that much, but so if you're fishing around grass and you need to cover a lot of water. So we talked about some of the other things I said, like the bull shooter and the little bluegill swim bait and stuff like that. Those things are really good if you know that you're around the fish. If you're covering a lot of water, you could theoretically do it with the swim bait, but it's still, you have to fish it pretty slow. If you need to just find the fish, the thing that is number one in my book is a spinnerbait. So my 2 favorite spinnerbaits currently right now, I go through a lot, but it's the bottom-up beeble, and this is not really a spinnerbait, but this is kind of like a hybrid between a spinnerbait and a chatterbait, and this is a Bass Puzzle grass piece, and basically you could use a bladed jig or a chatterbait or something like Andrew said. It's similar. But basically, something that has vibration, something that has flash, and something that is a bluegill color and profile. So I know that this one's a little long. I was trying to imitate perch with this guy, but you can see chartreuse, very bluegilly, and with this guy, definitely bluegill colored skirt. You're fishing this around bluegill. You're trying to imitate bluegill. The bass at this time of year are threatened by bluegill because bluegill are eating their eggs.
Babies.
They're eating their
fry,
babies,
yeah.
and the bass are protecting their fry against the bluegill, and they're also feeding on the bluegill since they're up there, and that's the bait that's there. So if you use something that's imitating a bluegill, you can kind of double down on, if you're around bass fry, they'll eat it because they're defending their fry. If you're not around bass fry and you're just around bluegill, there's likely bass that are somewhere near there eating bluegill. So I would say I use these types of baits to get attention and to cover water efficiently because you can fish them fast. I fish both of these things very, very, very fast of just burning them back to the boat, and it will tell you where there are fish, and you can obviously then continue working that area with one of these baits, but then you can also slow down with something else and really pick the area apart. But a lot of times what you get with post spawn is where when they're spawning, the fish are really congregated in spawning area. Like there are only certain areas where the fish can spawn based on what they need for spawning. Once they are... that's the best comment that I've ever seen. That's the best comment that I've ever seen.
You need an only JDM.
That makes me really happy.
Only JDM.
Only JDMs.
So what he's
I don't
pretty
even
much
remember what I was talking
So
about.
what he's trying to say kind of is just fish this like it's a bluegill on crack.
Basically, yes. So anyway, once the fish go post spawn, they're no longer quite as especially the shallow fish are no longer as congregated as they were. They're going to usually isolated cover, and they're finding where there's congregations of bluegill, and there are going to be large areas with nothing, and you have to find where those fish are, where the bluegill are, and you use one of these search baits to really cover water quickly and be able to locate those fish. The other thing about chatterbaits and spinnerbaits are basically that you can throw them anywhere and they don't get stuck. You can throw them into trees, you can throw them in the grass, you can throw them into brush piles, and if you fish them correctly, then they will not get stuck pretty much ever. So they're very, very efficient at covering water. I would say the number one thing that I do when I'm fishing these that other people are not doing is not being afraid to lose the bait and throwing it where the other, like, spinnerbait is not a... Even the shirt is bushy. I don't know how I'm supposed to focus under this type of scrutiny. What?
That's just Anthony.
He's fancy.
But basically, like I said something earlier that, like, if you're fishing a lake, then probably 90% of the people that have fished a lake before you have thrown a spinnerbait on the shore. Yeah. And that's true. But what they've all done is they've thrown 5 feet away from a dock, or 5 feet away from a grass patch, or 5 feet away from a brush pile. They have, because they don't want to lose their bait, or they're not that good at accurate casting and all that. But if you are not afraid of losing your baits and you throw them into those things, you throw it under the dock, you throw it into the brush pile, into the weeds, you will catch multitudes of fish more than the average person that's going down that shoreline.
Andrew and I say it all the time when we're fishing jigs. If you ain't getting stuck, you're not trying hard enough.
Exactly.
And that's exactly why I carry about 150 pounds worth of just jigs alone in my boat at all times. Because generally speaking, if you have one, you have none. If you have two, you have one. Unless it comes to jigs. If
you have 30, 10, you have none.
You have one. Yeah. Dude, and there's been plenty of days where we've gone through like 20 jigs. That doesn't happen often, but there's been plenty of days where it's like we got off the water like, it was an expensive day.
Anthony, it's silky.
It is kind of silky.
It's really silky.
I play a lot of golf, too, so...
Me too.
Do you?
Yeah.
You golf a lot?
PGA Tour 24.
Andrew.
2K23.
I
mean actual golf.
Dude, I went 7 under last night.
I don't know what
with an eagle.
I've never gone 7 under in my life.
Every time I play that game with friends, if you hit a birdie, you have to go tweet, tweet. And if you hit an eagle, you have to go, caca!
I got an albatross, though. What is that? What do I do with that?
I don't know. You have to make up something.
Squawk! Squawk! Seabird!
You're going to sing like Scuttle from Little Mermaid. Wah, wah, wah!
Can we end this now?
We've gone off topic a lot here. We've gone off topic.
It's all right. It's fun. It's a family show.
Now it is. We're talking Disney.
Squawk! I can't breathe.
Andrew keeps trying to tell me that we should stream on the old gaming channel every once in a while when we're playing like Rocket League or something. And every time I'm like, I don't know. But
it would be
the
so
more
much
I think
fun.
about it, we probably should at some point. Just not announce it. Just pop it up.
Yes, he has sensitive nipples.
Is that a comment about my nipples now?
Anthony's the man. He's on fire.
Really going after me tonight.
It's because he likes you. It's all right.
I'm going to hire an attorney.
So when you make the bird noises, is that better when you're throwing up shallow or deep?
Deep.
Yeah.
That's true.
Deep, shallow.
Well, technically, if you're chasing birds, they're usually going to be fishing deep.
Yeah.
So.
Spot on. Chasing that smelt bite.
Mm-hmm.
Very strategic of you.
Yes. Out there in the fall, and you're like, yeah, we're going to catch smallmouth. You see the birds out in the middle of the lake. You're like, we're not going to catch anything today.
No. Yeah, seriously.
And there he goes.
Smelts over on 200 feet of water on Newfound. pack it up. We're going home.
Did you say they found an airplane from the 70s?
Yeah, on Champlain.
In Champlain?
Yeah,
Really?
I saw that today. There was a
200
missing
feet of water.
jet from sometimes
71.
Wait, how deep?
200 feet
Oh, I didn't see that. I
Jesus,
just saw
really?
that they
Yeah.
found.
Damn.
off
pretty
of
impressive.
some island. I forget. It was south of Mallets.
But there was some lake trout in it.
Probably.
You want to go jigging for Lakers
Yes.
next month? I'll take it. I know. Exactly
Okay,
what
let's
to do.
go.
I don't know if I have time.
Next month.
Dude,
I'm single.
what time next month? Because the week before iCast, I will be in work all day, every day, late, prepping for a big corporate meeting. And then the week after that, I'll be in iCast for this product launch. And then at weekend, I'm at a family gathering. And then the weekend after that, I have
Let's say
nothing.
What about how many
Nothing.
how many weekends away is that?
I don't know. They're all busy.
So they
Where's my
only
calendar?
bite from sunrise to like 10 a.m.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm
So
down
you're
to go.
saying
We'll
we
go
can pull
smallmouth
double duty. I was going to say, we go up for
Yeah, then
jig
we'll
up
go smallmouth
Lakers, and then we
fishing.
go
Okay.
small.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, easy peasy. Okay, so
On Champlain?
No, Winnie.
Hey, your wife
Really?
started following me on TikTok. Hi,
I
Kate.
did, yeah, I went last fall, and like it's so easy. It's like the easiest. It's so easy. Like,
Like, when are you thinking? Like, before October?
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. It has to. I think the season closes. Oh, the season closes in November. But like in like late July, like mid July, late July, early August.
Okay. That sounds a lot of fun. I definitely want big ones.
I mean, Winnie doesn't have that many big ones, but you'll go out and you'll catch like 10 of
30?
them.
Oh,
10,
okay.
20.
Okay. I like that.
July 28th, I'm free again.
All right, we'll go July 28th.
Okay, let's do it. July 28th. What is that?
We
That's
have
somebody's
to go in your boat,
birthday.
though, because I can't fit 3 people in my boat.
That's all right.
But I'll
That's
ta-
why I got the big boat.
I'll take you to exactly where the spot is,
We'll make it work.
and I'll
It's
show
gonna be
you.
glorious.
I'll show you exactly what to buy to go and do it.
Okay.
It's very fun and it's very easy.
BFS?
No, because you have to use like a 1 ounce jig. Because
BFS?
they're over like 100 feet of water, but
Big old swim bait rod, baby.
no, you don't want that. I'll show you. I'll show
spinning
you.
rod.
Listen,
I'll show you.
I will do as I please.
I'll show you. Fine.
I'll use my inshore
You
spinning
can catch
setup.
a 2-pound Laker on a 40-pound line or whatever you're using.
Yeah. Oh, boat potato. Tie opener drew 68 boats. Missed you guys. Yeah.
All died. Oh, for Rich.
hell?
Oh, in the
Oh.
plane. In the plane.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. My youngest son is still playing baseball, but his last game of the season is this Saturday. But that was this past Saturday, so couldn't do that. Then my wife went to, what the hell was that? It was something for a family member. I don't know. Something wedding or baby shower related. I forget. I don't know. But she was gone
wedding.
almost all day Sunday too. I got out for 2.5 to 3 hours of fishing on this weekend. That was it. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Me too.
I was counting out all my earned time off today to figure out when was the next day I could take off because I desperately need it.
I'm off
Dude, I
next
haven't
Wednesday.
used any vacation yet.
You're what?
I'm off next Wednesday.
Why?
Juneteenth.
What the f- is that?
I'll describe it to you after the show.
Yeah, I actually found out about it today too.
It's like a Massachusetts thing.
Okay, but what are you doing? Are you fishing?
No. Baby day.
He's celebrating it.
Baby day. I literally have an infant.
He's celebrating it from the waist down.
You just see a fish. Finished 7th. Hell yeah, dude! Congrats, boat potato.
Fuck yeah. Oh, yes. Good job.
T.I.?
Yeah, Ty.
Like the rapper?
Cantarogas.
Oh.
Ty
You're
Cantaroga.
talking about like the hip hop artist.
I'd like to go fish down there
Yeah.
again.
I would like to go
Oh.
there. I've never been there.
You know where I really want to go? All right, there's 2 things. One, I really want to go to Maine, as planned earlier this year. I really
Cobbossee?
want to fish Maine.
Obviously.
Cobbossee, China, and then a
yeah.
couple other lakes. There's one particular lake that you and I had talked about that we had to take Kevin to because Kevin won a free fishing trip with us. So we're going to do double duty on that. There's a part of me that wants to do it this weekend. I don't know. Depends on, I don't know. The problem is, it's not that bad of a drive.
Up to you.
I got to talk to the
What do you
family
mean it's
and
not that
figure
bad of a drive? For Father's Day?
Oh, Father's Day.
Hey kids, hope you didn't want to see me on Father's Day.
Remember when I made you? Yeah, that's all you get.
Yeah, I know. I forget about the traffic coming home. And again, that's what happens every year when we talk about going to Maine.
Happy
It's
Father's
like, let's
Day.
go.
I'm
And then
not
it's
gonna
like,
see you.
shit, that traffic on the ride home is going to suck. Never mind.
I can't.
No, you can't. I know what you're going to say, too.
Nice to meet you, Bob.
Ridiculous. Oh, God. All right, anyway. We've covered everything.
That's not true. There's one more.
Okay, what's left? Flick shake?
Flick shake.
You're only allowed to talk about this because of the damn hook you have on it, because otherwise that is still just a wacky rig Senko.
Flick shake. Yes, but you and I
Went out in the river 2 years ago.
2 years ago, and we caught over 50 fish.
No, you did. You almost caught all of those on your own.
You caught a couple.
You had like 30 fish before I caught my first one. And then you were, at one point, you were like...
No, you brought up flick shake.
I know, that's what I was going to say.
I was catching them on a Senko. And
Yeah.
then you were like, oh, I bet a flick shake would work. And I was like, you know what? I bet a flick shake would work.
Because you kept getting little dinks.
Yeah.
Like, you were getting a good average for like the first 20 or something fish, and then it was just like less than 12-inch size fish over and over again.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if you throw a flick shake to get it down a little faster? And you're like, I have that, I'll throw it. And it immediately worked.
And it immediately worked.
And I was like, that's awesome. I literally have never thrown one, but it made sense in my head.
It made sense, and it worked. And I've thrown it all the time since then. And it always works.
I need to buy some. I keep thinking about it, and I know specific applications and times of the year where, I mean, let's face it, a wacky rig Senko just flat out works. But
It works.
dude, when you're talking
This works
about
better.
deep offshore fish,
Or current.
yep, it makes a difference. You're still throwing it in the same format, but you're just adding a little weight to the head, and it's getting down a lot faster.
Yep.
While still having that wacky rig action, and it's not the same as an eco rig, which, by the way, also phenomenal post spawn bait.
Great post spawn.
God, I love the eco rig. It's about the only acceptable manner that will throw a Senko for fun,
For fun.
for tournament fishing.
Is that your PB you caught on that?
Yeah, on an eco rig Senko. And the funny thing is, I go back and watch that video anytime I want, and I can remind me how I saw the fish, I backed off, I spot locked, I'm like, all right. I had because I was scouting for the high school team, and I was just like primarily looking for smallmouth for these kids. So that I didn't have a lot of options, but I had 8 different rods out, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go through everything. And for 16 minutes, nothing. And finally looked down, and I was like, God damn Senko. Oh, it's got a nail weight in it. That's okay. First cast.
That's okay. There's some weight to it.
It still counts as a jig.
It's not a wacky rig. It's an eco rig. Yeah, but yes, flick shake, 100%. I need to get more worms that work for that, just in general.
I like these ones a lot. They're pretty good. I mean, a Senko works too, but these work pretty good.
I like that a little bit better.
Yeah. Longer, you get bigger bites.
The Jackal flick shake,
The Jackal Flick Shake.
6.8 inches.
That's correct.
Yeah, I know exactly where I want to throw that on Champlain. I mean, a number of places, but I'm looking forward to that
I have an
PFL.
idea where to do it too.
Oh,
But you're going to have a hell of a run. What?
I know what you're talking about.
Where?
We're kicking the shit out of them with the A-rigs.
No.
No?
Nope.
Where?
Can't tell you. It's that island that you guys were talking about before.
You gonna throw a Flick Shake there?
Hell
else?
yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Wait, which island?
Yeah.
I know you can't tell me that.
I think we're thinking about different islands.
Is it the one we went Carolina rigging that day? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's
Yeah,
the one.
that's literally what I was thinking about when I saw that. That's
Yeah,
right
hell
there.
yeah, I
You throw it
would.
for smallmouth?
Absolutely.
Wait a minute. At the island?
Northern end. There's a bunch of vegetation that drops off and ends at like 12 feet.
Yeah.
And they run that.
Yeah.
And then if you go from that east to that whole long stretch,
Yeah, on the shore.
Oh, where Oliver brought us.
yeah, dude.
Oh, dude, yes.
Topwater spot over there.
Oh,
Yes. So now you know what I'm talking about.
yes.
I honestly God could probably just go out there and just make it work. Like, do nothing else but that.
You fishing a BFL?
I am, and I'm excited because
When is it?
I originally thought it is August. Hang on. I just had it open. It is August 17th out of Plattsburgh. So that's actually
I
my
feel
first
bad
tournament
I
of the
couldn't
year.
do the kids camp this year.
But
But I just
I
can't
thought you were
do
gonna be
it.
able to.
I just
I know
can't.
I can't.
I have too much shit going on.
Yeah.
That'll be easy in August though, because the smallmouth will be deep.
Yep.
So it's like you have to focus on so much less.
I forget what dates he said and why I couldn't do it. Was it July?
I don't know. We'll see when we get closer. Maybe I can make a decision then.
Yeah, no, I'm gone on family vacation that week when he was looking. So I unfortunately can't. Anyway,
I just feel bad taking time off of work because I'm moving.
I know you guys. Right.
And we're
there's that.
flat out.
Yeah.
So Whatever.
Hey, man, it's earned vacation time. You earned it. Take a day.
I should take a day.
But seriously, take a day because we can't fish next weekend because my mom's up. I'm going to take a day off either Friday or Monday. I haven't decided yet.
All right. I'll take next Friday off.
Up to Vermont.
I'll take next Friday off.
Is it next Friday? Friday would probably make more sense.
I don't know. I'll see.
I can do
see what
Friday
the
or Monday.
schedule-
That was going to be my
I'll see
you
what the
tell
s-
me. I can take whatever day off I
Right.
want.
I'll see what the schedule is for next week. Next week or 2 weeks?
You're making
either
everybody
way.
here listen to you
It
two
would be-
argue about
it
what
would
day
be
to
next
take
Friday.
off.
Yeah.
Listen.
Well, they're watching us, aren't they?
Where are we?
I don't think they care about your vacation time.
I don't think
It
they
would
care
be.
about
It
us
would be
anyway.
Friday next week, the 21st.
Okay.
Or
see what the
Monday the
schedule's
24th. One way or another.
Well, Monday would be way better.
Why?
Work sucks on Mondays.
Even your Tuesday becomes Monday.
Tuesday's still a Tuesday, though.
But now it's your Monday.
Fuck. Well, then what's Friday? A Thursday?
Yes. No, Friday's still Friday. No matter how you cut it, Friday's still Friday.
I
It's
like
the
it.
worst conversation I've ever been a part of.
But your Tuesday becomes
wanna
your Monday.
join it?
Tuesday just
I
goes
don't.
away. Wednesday is like, all right, middle of the week still. Because regardless, you know, it's Wednesday. 4
And what's
days,
hump
5 days,
day?
whatever it's. Huh?
What's hump day?
What's hump day?
2.5?
Hump day is Wednesday night when we do the stream. Hump day.
That's fair. Yeah, that makes sense.
Sweet.
That makes sense. That's how I
actually-
viewed it this week.
On that note, the only stream I definitively know, regardless of what's ever going on with work, will not be doing is on Wednesday, July 3rd, because that is my son's birthday. However, I think I'm going to push it to Thursday.
He's gonna. I can't say anything about that.
I know.
You're gonna do it on July 4th?
No, never mind. We're not doing a stream that week. Unless I push it to Tuesday instead of Tuesday the 2nd.
I will be gone.
Fuck it, we're not doing it that week.
Well, I'm leaving Friday.
Oh, yeah, for that show?
You're coming fishing with us.
Well, I'm going
Friday.
fishing with you guys Friday, and I'm driving down to a festival, whatever it's called, a band thing. Lots
Oh,
of
a band
bands,
thing?
lots of reggae, lots of extracurricular activities.
So, last story, we'll wrap it up. This is what reminded me when I was like still big with the gaming thing, and like Twitter was what we used to promote it and talk to everybody like before
Twitter.
everything else. And I remember like
Never had it.
someone that
Hump day is 2.5
we were
months.
following each other forever, and he posted a picture of some like EDM festival, and he was like, "I think I want to go to this. Has anybody been? What are your thoughts?" And something about the picture, I was like, "That looks like an absolute total bro down." And he was just like, "Wow, way to piss in my Wheaties." I don't know why that reminded me, but I felt
1,000
bad.
dudes and 4 chicks.
All right. Anyway, we may or may not see you next week. Follow us on social media to find out.
We will see you guys possibly next week at youtube.com/@ReelNorthernBass.
Nailed it.
Fucking nailed it. It's been a couple weeks. Need my brain to
Hopefully it's not another couple of weeks.
We'll see you when we see you, all right?
Thank you all for watching tonight. Greatly appreciate you. See you next week.